Your master is within you. Wake up if you can. This is the call of Sant Kabir. It sounds simple. Your master is within you. But Kabir reveals a deeper truth, hidden until we awaken. From conception, consciousness is present, resting in awareness. Yet, with the first breath, we forget the master inside us. All spiritual paths aim to rediscover that master within. Awakening requires intensity, sincerity, and courage. When the longing for God matches the need for breath, realization happens. The journey starts with determination and love, ending in union with the Supreme. So, let's enter this moment with open hearts and listen deeply. Your master is within you. Wake up if you can.
This couplet is a very mysterious one. The couplet is: Tera sai tujh mein hai, tu jaag sake tu jaag. In English, it can be said, your master is within you, wake up if you can. In words, it seems very simple, your master is within you. Even if you ask a child, he will say, yes, the soul is inside me. But he is not awakened. He does not know where the soul truly is. The entire essence of spiritual science, the very summary of all spiritual practice, is this: to know your master, your soul, your consciousness from within yourself, to become one with it, to realize, I am with consciousness. And this indeed is the great goal of life. Now let us go deeper into this. You can understand it very simply. When a mother becomes pregnant, the entry of consciousness, the soul, takes place into the womb. Around that consciousness, around that soul, gradually the body begins to form. The body, in fluid form, receives its nourishment only from the mother, and within 9 months its development becomes complete. When the child is in the mother's womb, it does not breathe. It has lungs, but it does not take in breath. It remains in the state of consciousness. And in that state of consciousness, it remains with the Supreme. If its consciousness is developed, which it has carried forward from past births, then even what happens outside can be perceived by that consciousness. You all know well the story of the Mahabharata, that when Abhimanyu was in his mother's womb, his mother was told how to create a protective formation around Abhimanyu in the battlefield, a formation of warriors so that enemies could not attack him. When this story was narrated to the mother, Abhimanyu fully understood how such a formation could be created in war. But he understood only half of it. Now, it cannot be said for sure whether the mother was told the full story or only half, or whether she heard the full story but fell asleep midway, or whether Abhimanyu in the womb could not hear the full explanation. What exactly happened, no one can know. But the half of the story that he did hear enabled him later, on the battlefield, to break into the enemy's formation and fight them. He was able to kill enemies. But because he did not know how to come out of that formation, he was trapped, and the enemies killed Abhimanyu. The purpose of narrating this story is simply this: even in the mother's womb, if one is aware, if one's consciousness is already developed, then everything gets imprinted upon that consciousness. And it is imprinted so deeply that even after birth, the knowledge acquired there can be applied in life. This is the great state of consciousness. For when one is in the womb, one does not breathe. You also know the story of Ashtavakra. While still in his mother's womb, he spoke to his father. When his father used to recite the Vedas in a loud voice, Ashtavakra, who was in a state of samadhi or ecstasy, could not tolerate such a high sound. Therefore, one day he spoke from the womb itself and said, "Why do you keep chattering like a parrot? Sit with your own soul." Because Ashtavakra was already knowledgeable in the form of pure consciousness while still in the mother's womb. But the father could not bear this and cursed him. Because of that curse, he was born crooked in 8 limbs. As I have told you, the purpose of being born deformed in 8 limbs was simply so that he might not reach God through the traditional practice of yoga. He might not be able to reach through yam, niyama, asana, pranayam, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi or ecstasy. But he was a great knower. He had no need to follow the yogic path. He was born already wise, even in childhood form. When he was in his mother's womb, he remained fully with the soul, with consciousness itself. In the same way, you will notice, when a mother is pregnant, if there is too much noise, of drums or of any loud instrument, the mother feels that the child is disturbed in the womb and begins to move restlessly. The meaning is only this, that the child remains in complete consciousness inside the womb. Some have more developed consciousness, some less. But consciousness is present in all. When the child is born, as soon as it comes out, its umbilical cord is cut so that it may no longer take nourishment from the mother. And until the child breathes, it is turned upside down by the legs, or gently tapped, so that it begins to cry and make sound. As soon as it cries out, the purpose of this is that the child has started breathing. Breath has entered. Now, as soon as breath enters, consciousness disappears into the body. This is a great science. The whole system of spiritual practice is based upon this. By knowing the breath and by knowing consciousness, self-realization happens. When breath enters the child, consciousness becomes hidden. As I have already told you, when you enter into the state of samadhi or ecstasy, your breath slows down very much, and for some time you even become without breath. And as soon as this state comes, then you are with your consciousness, immersed in samadhi or ecstasy. Your condition then is the same as when you were in the mother's womb. In the mother's womb, the child does not breathe. It lives only by consciousness. But when it comes out and begins to breathe, consciousness becomes hidden in the body. And when consciousness becomes hidden in the body, it is then said, your master is within you. Know him if you can. So, the whole of sadhana is to know your master who has become merged within you. After breath enters, as soon as breathing begins, man enters the world. Gradually, by the process of breathing, development happens. Breath flows, the desire for food arises, and by 7 years the brain slowly becomes developed. The child's brain takes all nourishment through breath. Through the system of breath, every function of the body is performed. Physical growth happens, mental growth happens. But consciousness remains hidden inside you. You do not feel the presence of your master. And when you do not feel your master, it means you do not feel your soul. You do not know that you are connected with the Supreme. All this is the play of the Lord's Maya. And slowly, as the breath develops, as breathing increases, the body grows, the mind develops. In the mind, all kinds of tendencies begin to arise. Lust, anger, greed, attachment, ego, everything begins to come. And all of this is through the process of breath. And man becomes so absorbed in the world that he does not even feel the need to ask, "Who is my master?" He becomes so busy in food, livelihood, and worldly activities that he forgets God altogether. And if you look carefully, in this world there seems to be no need of the Lord at all. When you have food, clothing, and shelter, when you have a wife, a family, the comforts of life, then man forgets God. He forgets that within him there is a master, there is God, there is a soul. Among thousands, only one person feels the wish, "How should I really live my life? Why was I born? What was I like in my mother's womb?" Among thousands, perhaps even fewer, such a longing arises that I should walk on the path of this knowledge. Otherwise, there seems to be no need to know anything at all. This longing arises only if there are impressions from past births, or if in this life one is surrounded by suffering, family problems, health issues, financial troubles, relationship struggles, or if wealth and possessions are suddenly lost, or if there is untimely death in the family. Then a person begins to look within. Some try to look within, but after a little while they forget everything again. But there are a few rare ones in whose heart this intense longing remains. Who am I? Who am I? Such people alone walk on the path of dharma, and they try to know, who is the master within me? There was once a gentleman, a young man, who went to Baba Farid and asked him, "Who is my master? Who is my Lord? Who am I?" Baba Farid replied, "This is very difficult to know. It is so difficult to know that only when you struggle for even a single breath will you begin to realize it." The young man agreed. He went with Baba Farid to bathe in the river. As soon as he dived into the water, Baba Farid sat on his shoulders. Baba Farid was a strong, stout man, about 60 or 70 years old, while the young man was thin and weak. The young man felt he was about to die, struggling for breath. Suddenly, from somewhere, a great power arose within him, and he pushed Baba Farid off. Then Baba Farid asked, "From where did you get so much strength?" The young man said, "I was about to die, struggling for a single breath." Then Baba Farid told him, "In life, when such a situation arises for you, when there is such an intense longing to know God, to recognize your Master, only then can you find the Lord. If you can do such a great sadhana, only then should you walk on this path. Otherwise, wasting time here is of no use." In the same way, there was an illiterate man who, from his past birth itself, was deeply connected with God. He went to the ashram of a saint and said, "I want to attain the Supreme." The saint said clearly, "This is not an easy path, by which you may know who you are. Your Master is within you, but if you want to realize Him, it is not so simple. He is hidden within you." But the man did not agree to leave. He said, "I am ready to do anything." So, the saint kept him in the ashram and gave him the work of pounding rice. He told him clearly, "You have to do only this work. Do not come to me." The man accepted. Being illiterate, he did not argue. Day and night he kept pounding rice. In the state of pounding rice, his mind became dissolved. His mind came into a state of emptiness. He himself did not know it, but when the mind becomes empty, consciousness expands. There were many other disciples in the ashram. After many years, when the Sadguru became old, he needed a successor who could take care of the ashram. So, he told his disciples, "What is the mind? Whoever knows the answer to this, write it on the board outside, and write your name underneath." But no one could understand what the mind really is. But one boy wrote on the board, "The mind is a mirror, and upon it the dust of desires gathers." He was afraid, so he did not write his name underneath. When the Guru saw it, he became very angry. "Which fool has written this?" The rice-pounding disciple overheard this. After the Guru had gone away, he asked another disciple, "Please write, 'The mind is emptiness,' and put my name beneath it." The disciples laughed. What does he know? But the next day when the Guru saw the board, it was written, "The mind is emptiness," and below it was the disciple's name. The Guru was greatly astonished. How has the rice-pounding disciple reached such a great state, that his mind has become empty? Otherwise, how could he write such a thing? Later, the Guru entrusted him with the responsibility of the ashram. The Guru himself withdrew. For when the mind became empty, the state of consciousness arose. When the state of consciousness came, he became one with the entire universe. He had no knowledge of scriptures or books, but he had become so filled with pure consciousness that everything became known to him, what others were thinking, what their feelings were, what state they were in. And the mind becomes empty only when the breaths dissolve. In the same way, you know the story of Shvetaketu. When Shvetaketu returned home after completing all his studies, he was full of pride. His father asked him one question: "Do you know that one, by whom the whole universe is sustained?" Shvetaketu replied plainly, "Such knowledge I did not receive in the ashram." So the father said, "Then your learning will bring you no benefit in life. Go back to the ashram and obtain this knowledge. Know that one essence, and only then will you be worthy to live in our family. Whoever does not have the realization of the Supreme is not fit to remain in our lineage." So Shvetaketu went to the Guru. The Guru said, "The knowledge of the One cannot be found in books. The knowledge of the Master within cannot be found in scriptures. It is obtained only by emptying yourself, by searching within. And that is the supreme knowledge. The knowledge of books is only practical knowledge." Even Mahatma Buddha had studied all the scriptures, read the Vedas, read all the Shastras. But he did not find contentment, because he had not attained self-knowledge. He said, "If I want self-knowledge, I must make myself empty." The Guru told Shvetaketu, "Take these 400 cows into the forest. Live with them. When emptiness fully arises, when your mind becomes dissolved, then realization will come. This will happen only when these cows increase from 400 to 1000. So Shvetaketu went into the forest and lived with the cows. He spent his days serving them, living only on milk. Gradually, his mind became empty. How did it happen? By living in emptiness, surrounded only by emptiness, slowly emptiness entered his life. He would sit for hours in that state of void. He became one with the Supreme. When the cows multiplied to about 1000, he himself did not even realize it. By then he had become a great knower of the Supreme. When he returned to the Guru, the disciples said, 1000 cows are coming, and Shvetaketu is with them. The Guru said, "No, it is not 1000 cows, it is 1001. Shvetaketu too has become a cow." And in this way, he attained the Supreme. This is the method. If you want to realize God, the mind must be emptied. These are old stories. But in today's age, there are neither those ashrams nor those same disciplines. Yet if within you there is a firm determination, I must realize God, I must awaken to the Master within me, I must search and know Him, then only walk this path. If you do not have such power, such intensity, then there is no benefit in walking it. But if your determination is firm, if you set out with this as the true purpose of your life, then you can surely attain. How to walk this path? The simple way is meditation. You can walk by meditation, or by mantra japa, or by the method of breath, or even by dancing like Meera. In love and devotion you can attain the Lord. What is needed is firm determination. There was a gentleman who was deeply desirous of attaining the Lord. He made great efforts, but he could not leave behind his desires. He could not give up lust within himself. He could not give up anger. He could not give up indulgence in women. Finally, he went to a Sadguru and said, "I do want to realize the Lord, but these are the great problems of my life." He spoke the complete truth before him. The Guru said, "These problems are in front of every human being. If within you there is firm resolve, then every day for half an hour in the morning and half an hour in the evening, enter into the state of meditation." The Guru taught him the method of meditation and explained clearly, "Do not skip even a single day. Do it daily. Eat and drink whatever you wish comfortably. There is no bondage upon you. After 2 months, come back to me." The man thought, this is a very simple method. He began meditation. Within just 15 to 20 days, even his desire for food reduced. The desire for women became zero. The desire for eating meat disappeared. Within 1 to 1.5 months, he himself was greatly astonished. "Everything is present before me, but I have no desire for it." Then he went back to his Guru and said, "Meditation has had such a strong effect upon me." The Guru then taught him further methods, and in time he was able to have the direct vision of his own Sai, the divine that was within him. So, the method of attaining the Lord is in fact very simple. First of all, take complete care of your health. Just as when you go to a doctor or physician, you describe your diseases to him, and he treats them. As soon as the diseases vanish, health comes automatically. The doctor does not give you health, it arises of its own accord when disease is removed. Similarly, when you walk upon the methods, the direct realization of the divine will happen of itself. You will not need to make any extra effort. But it will only happen if you walk upon the path fully and completely. Once health comes and the diseases are gone, then in the life of every person another suffering remains, the tendencies of the mind. There is no human being in this world who does not have lust, or anger, or greed, or attachment, or ego. The strength of each may differ. In some, lust is more and anger is less. In some, anger is more and attachment is less. In some, ego is very strong and lust-anger are absent. Anything among these 5 can be more or less. But these 5 tendencies are the same. They affect everyone in different forms. Now, how to rise above them? The way to rise above them is also very simple. Just as by removing disease, health came to you, in the same way these two will dissolve, if you can discover where they get their strength from. The strength of these 5 tendencies comes from your mind. If you reduce the strength of the mind, then the strength of these tendencies will also reduce. And the food of the mind is received from your breath. When the speed of the breath slows down, then the mind gradually becomes relaxed and still. Now, how to slow down the speed of the breath? First of all, you must have complete control over your food. The health that you have improved, do not allow it to get spoiled again. Do not depend on medicines. The very word medicine itself has meaning. M stands for meditation, E stands for exercise, and D stands for diet. If you keep proper meditation, exercise, and diet, then gradually your health will remain fine, and the speed of your breath will also begin to slow down. When you enter into the practice of meditation, keep your attention on your breath. The breath which earlier used to be 10 or 15 per minute, in some time will reduce to 5 or 7. Then you will see your mental tendencies also begin to reduce. Lust and anger will slowly start diminishing. If lust does not reduce, then step into lust, but do so consciously with awareness. Even in anger, if it comes, step into it with awareness. Be awake while expressing anger. If you do it in a wakeful state, first of all, you will not even be able to do it. Even if you do, you will find that no pleasure remains in it. Experience this for yourself, and then lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego will gradually start disappearing. In life, you have studied scriptures. You know everything in theory. But the method to actually change your own life requires effort from you. You yourself must embrace health. You yourself must bring your tendencies under complete control. Until you improve your own life, you will not feel that your Sai, the soul or God is within you. If for a few years you continue in this way, your health will be good. You will progress in the practice of meditation. You will be able to sit quietly for long periods of time. If you cannot go into meditation, then do mantra japa or chanting of mantra. But listen to the mantra yourself, because soul is within you. When you chant and listen, it is Sai, the soul or God who is listening, and the soul will awaken. Either awaken him through meditation or awaken him through mantra chanting. But even while doing mantra, do not do it mechanically in a mental state. Do it with the feeling of awakening that Sai, the soul or God within you. Listen carefully to the mantra you are reciting. The final result will be the same, whether you do it through meditation or through mantra chanting. Now, as peace begins to arise within you, you will begin to realize the one who is doing everything is the Supreme. Leave everything to him. The moment there is even a little progress within you, God will begin to give you more comforts, so that you do not continue further upon this path. This is the divine's way. But do not focus on the comforts. Even when happiness comes, look at it with awareness. Do not get drowned in it. Continue walking upon this path. And keep the understanding in your mind, whatever is being done by the divine, and it is always for the good. Do not bring your personal mind into it. A boy lived with his father. One day, the father prepared kheer or sweet rice pudding for him. On top of the kheer, he placed some almonds. He served the kheer in 2 bowls. In one bowl, he put 2 almonds on the top, and in the other bowl, he put no almonds on top but hid many almonds underneath. Then he said to the boy, "Choose one bowl of kheer A, sweet rice pudding, for yourself." The boy saw that one bowl had almonds placed on top, so he immediately picked that one and began eating. The father ate from the other bowl. When the boy looked into his father's bowl, he saw that it was full of almonds, while his bowl had only 2. The father said, "The first choice I gave to you." The boy remained silent. The next day, the same thing happened again. The father prepared kheer or sweet rice pudding, put 2 almonds on top of one bowl, and left the other bowl with almonds hidden inside. The boy thought, "Now I will be clever. Today I will take the other one. That will surely have almonds." But when he began eating, there were no almonds at all in that bowl. His father, on the other hand, ate the bowl with 2 almonds on top. The boy felt very disappointed and said, "Father, once again I have been deceived." The father replied, "In life, it is very difficult to say what will happen." On the 3rd day, again the father prepared kheer in the same way. This time, the boy did not choose a bowl. Instead, he folded his hands before his father and said, "Father, whichever bowl you give me, I will eat that one." Naturally, the father gave him the bowl full of almonds and kept the other for himself. Then the boy understood on his own, "If I leave everything to my father, or to God, then God will surely do what is best for me. He will always give me the best. But if I make choices according to my own mind, then I will surely go astray." The deeper meaning of this story is only this: leave everything to the Supreme, and simply carry on your practice of meditation or your chanting of mantra. Do it with great faith and love. The divine will surely feed you the bowl of kheer. There is no question of him not giving it. But there must be no deficiency in your faith and devotion. As soon as your inner state begins to progress in this way, you will start to feel that from your Muladhara or root chakra, the awakening of energy is beginning to happen. When will it happen? In which state will it happen? How many years later it will happen, that I do not know. But the method is this: that power will rise upwards just like a serpent slowly ascending from the Muladhara or root center. Passing through the various chakras, it will reach your Agya chakra or third eye center. There it will rest. There the awakening of light will take place. Then, slowly, it will move into the Sahasrara chakra, and in that state it will return to the very source from where the Sai, the soul or God descended. At that moment, you will realize that the Sai, the soul or God within you has gone back to the place from where he had come. And when he has reached there, you too awaken. You recognize your Sai, the soul or God within yourself. This recognition of Sai, the soul or God may come to you in the state of emptiness or shunya, or it may come through the transmission of power within you, or it may come clearly through the sound of the anahata or the unstruck inner sound, being heard inside. It can happen in any form. According to your inner tendencies, so it will happen. And when it will happen, how it will happen, all of that depends on your determination and on the grace of the Supreme. But if you remain connected to the Divine, then there is no question of it not happening. You will surely gain the complete realization that at the time of your birth, in your mother's womb, your Sai, the soul or God was present. But as you began breathing, he became hidden. And the moment you rise above the breath, the Sai, the soul or God reappears. So truly, life is nothing but the play of consciousness and breath. If you have complete control over your breath, then you can very quickly recognize your Sai, you can become one with him. And you will come to know, I am awakened, and the Sai, the soul or God within me is also the same outside me. I have fully recognized him. This recognition may come in the form of the sound of the anahata, or it may come as a current flowing within you, like a stream of electricity. You will remain in complete stillness. And just as Ashtavakra had full consciousness even in his mother's womb, you too, while living in this world, can become fully conscious. You will live in the world, but also attain that consciousness. And when the final time comes, the breath will be the first to depart. But in your full awareness, in your wakeful state, your consciousness will leave your body. This is the liberated state or mukti. If you leave your body in this way, in wakefulness, then you will not take birth in this world again. You will be liberated while living or Jivan Mukta. Because you were already in the state of the Divine, as in the womb, and in the same full awareness, you merge back with that Supreme. This is the true realization of God in life. And this is the greatest achievement of life. Thank you.